Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Welcome, welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. That's F Your Feelings Friday. F Your Feelings, F Your Feelings, F Your Feelings Friday. Yes, we are back live and direct. We're in the building. I know I've been putting off this live stream for the last couple of days. I guess probably maybe for about a week or so because I have been extremely busy and then I've been extremely exhausted. But without any further ado, we're going to get to it, y'all. We're going to talk about this migrant crisis. And so before we begin, please let's everybody do what we normally do. Join hands, right? Bow our heads. And we're going to give thanks, y'all. So let's feed the ducks for a second, y'all. That's the name of this track. And I think it sets the mood and the tone. Turn it up a little bit for y'all. Everybody that's coming into the building, y'all. Yes. All right. Let's get it started, y'all. Yes. All right, y'all. I think that's enough. All right. So let me go ahead and come back into the building. Like I said, we are going to be talking about the migrant crisis today. What is that? These illegal immigrants coming up in here. Okay. I have been following this story for a while, and actually, this has been taking place for quite a while. I'm getting some notifications, so let me actually silence this, y'all. We're going to silence. We're going to put it on do not disturb so y'all don't keep hearing a bunch of dinging going on in the background. But yes, for those of you who are joining, we're talking about the migrant crisis. Um, Basically, they are not asylum seekers, okay? Migrant crisis. All right. That's what they want to call it. But we know they're not asylum seekers. And I'm going to get into it. I'm going to tell you why that is, okay? Um, if you wish to donate to the show, that is BGAB Clothing, all day, everyday, hashtag no days off. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe on your way in. You're going to enjoy the show. Trust me, you will. All right, let me go ahead. Oh, we're supposed to give thanks. So we want to give thanks for all of our blessings, you all, family members, relatives, and let's give special prayers out to those who need it because it's a lot going on in the world. And the sad part is, although it's a lot going on in the world, it seems like the American indigenous people of this land are still being ignored. You know what I mean? We cannot get any benefits. We can't get anything that we deserve. So I'm trying to understand, how is it that people who have not even paid taxes into the system get to come over here and live for free? Just migrate over here freely. Y'all, let's get into it. All right, here I am, y'all. How y'all doing today? Please forgive me for tying this thing around my hair. I washed it, and for the past week, this is how my hair has been, up in a bun. But it seems like the more and more as time has gone on, frizziness has come into, fruition for me. So this is why you see my hair tied up. I hope it's not too much of a distraction for y'all, but if it is, don't worry about it. All right, I'm gonna share with y'all some information because I got so much stuff that I might have to do a part two on this. Seriously. Um, One thing I want to say about the migrant crisis, y'all. All right, so if anybody has been following it, which I know most of you all are aware, you might recall that I want to say in 2021 is when the borders started really opening up to these immigrants, right? And it's always been an issue out in Mexico, the border of Mexico. Remember, Donald Trump said he was going to close the borders, he was going to shut it down, he's going to build a wall, and Mexico is going to pay for it. That's what he said, okay? Now he did start building that wall, but I don't think the wall was complete, but he built a lot of it. And they have barbed wire out there. However, these, whatever you want to call them, immigrants, invaders, intruders, because that's what they are. Whenever you intrude upon someone else's territory and you invade their country, it's an invasion, what's going on. And the sad part is there could be potential sleeper cells living here. What are sleeper cells, you might wonder? I've said the same thing. What are sleeper cells? Sleeper cells are just individuals that are here covertly and ready to attack at any point in time, meaning that there could be a terror attack. Everybody, you know what that is. I don't have to tell you. If you know how to spell, then you know what I just said. It could be an attack on the American people, the American citizens, the indigenous people of this land, okay? And they could be coming over here covertly to take over. I find it really, really strange that they would want to take away our gun rights, don't give us a way to protect ourselves, but then they are telling the American people, why don't you let these strangers from another country into your homes and we'll pay you, says the government. Now, who does that? Who lets strangers into their home and they don't even know who these people are, just to stay and live with them from a whole nother country? Some of them can't even speak the language. They don't speak the English, right? Yeah, they pretend like they don't speak the English. People speak the English when they need to. Let me just tell you that. And how do I know? Because, like I said, I've been working at the school recently, all right, within the past 4 months. And what I have noticed is that there are an influx of immigrant children that don't speak English, no habla English, okay, habla Espanol. They sit in the classroom and they cannot speak English. So, what's happening is they have people to pull them out of class to teach them English, read, write, comprehend English, right? I can say in a lot of schools, predominantly, I would say most of the schools are turning into Hispanic, Latino schools. Um, and this is going on pretty much across the board. Unless you get into more like of a Caucasian area, then you won't see it as much. But trust me, it's a lot of that going on. And these children are being I want to say like they're being accommodated, but I'm pretty sure that if our melanated children went over to another country, I doubt that they would be accommodated, especially if they're sitting in a classroom and they don't speak the language for the country in which they have arrived. But this is what's going on, and these are how your tax dollars are being spent. I also want to let you know that there is a COVID relief fund for everybody that kept saying, "Oh, the children are suffering because they're COVID babies." Cut it out, okay? It's no excuse, and I'm going to tell you why. They actually have put in millions of dollars into the COVID relief fund for schools that are typically underprivileged schools, which they classify as Title One, and they set up funding for tutoring sessions. Usually these sessions are on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays for 2 hours. Okay, you get a group of children for 1 hour each day, and then you get another group of children for the second hour of the day. So there's no reason why parents should say that their children are failing and behind because they are COVID babies. That's what a lot of the teachers are saying, but no, it's no excuse. And do your due diligence to be more involved with your child's education. If these immigrant children can come over here and enroll in school, then best believe you should be taking full advantage of all the resources and benefits that the school has available to your at your disposal for your children. All right, let's get into it. I got some clips to play for y'all. And a lot of people do feel strongly about this issue. I had a couple of people that said they wanted to come up here and talk about it today. I don't know if they're going to be on. Um, so I'm just gonna keep going with the show, y'all. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay. So let's get the definition of what an asylum seeker is first and foremost. Let's do that. Let me share my screen. So, a lot of these individuals are coming over here claiming that they are asylum seekers, right? I'm going to seek asylum when I get over there. I seek asylum. All right. So, a lot of you may or may not be familiar with what that means, but we're going to get into what that means. All right. So, hopefully, you can see my screen. I'm sharing. Let me make sure it is showing because sometimes the screen does not always show up. Okay, so it says here free legal help for asylum seekers. We help people apply for asylum. Our legal staff helps people do the following. Okay, understand the asylum process, decide whether to apply for asylum before the U.S. Asylum Office and Immigration Court, and appeal asylum denials to the Board of Immigration Appeals or U.S. Courts of Appeals. So basically, if they get denied to seek asylum here in the United States, they will help them appeal the decision that was made before the courts. All right, they get a lot of help. See, look, they get legal help. They get register to volunteer. So you can actually volunteer your free time and not get paid. Or you could be a current volunteer, just volunteer to help these illegal immigrants, right? All right, now let's get into what asylum is for many of you who may not be familiar with this topic. Asylum is a legal protection given to people who have come to the United States and are afraid to return to their home country because of persecution, a well founded fear of persecution on account of race. Now, melanated people, I want you to listen. Indigenous people of this land, I want you to hear this because right now, every melanated person in the building should be seeking asylum if this is the case, right? Are we not persecuted just because we were born into this country as a melanated being? All right. So let's stop right there. So basically, persecution or a well-rounded founded fear of persecution on account of race. Look at all the police brutality that takes place. All right. Religion, nationality, membership in a particular social group or political opinion. Now we all know that we get suppressed on social media because of our opinions. If we ever try to have a social group as melanated people, what happens? It gets attacked. It is infiltrated by um what do they call it? Controlled opposition from the government. All things take place with melanated people, but that's okay. They're going to protect the people that did not contribute to this land. So let's continue on. Is there a difference between a refugee and an asylum seeker? Why, yes, there is, they say. A refugee, they are individuals who are outside their country of nationality, but but not inside or at a border of the U.S. So when they apply for refugee status, they are also eligible for assistance when they arrive in the United States, as they have the legal status of refugee from the moment they enter. So that's a refugee. So they're outside of their country of nationality, but not inside or at a border of the U.S. When they apply for refugee status, they are also eligible for assistance when they arrive in the United States, as they have the legal status of refugee from the. Y'all remember the refugees? Ooh la la la. It's the way that we rock when we doing our thing. I was listening to that earlier today. All right, this is what an asylum seeker is. They are people who are outside their country of nationality and at the border of, or they are inside the US when applying for legal protection. They have to go through the process of seeking asylum in the US and are not entitled to permanent legal status or public benefits until their request is approved. Okay. Now, they have different types of asylum cases. Affirmative cases involve clients who have not yet applied for asylum or had any contact with immigration services. And they require that the asylum application be submitted to immigration services within 1 year of entry, although certain exceptions may be available. Then they have removal cases, basically clients who apply affirmatively and are not granted asylum. Alternatively, the cases may involve clients who were detained by immigration services and are filing their first asylum applications in court. All right. What is the process for gaining asylum? It tells you all about it right here. Um, what are the benefits of asylum? They get to live and work in the United States. They file for their spouse and minor children to come to the United States. So if they have children and a spouse in another country, they can file to have those people sent over here. Apply for permanent residence and eventually citizenship. Travel outside of the United States, but should not travel to their home country or place in which they fear persecution or torture. And they have access to federally funded public benefits. And guess who pays for these benefits? All paid by the taxpayer. Who is the taxpayer, you may ask? The American working citizen. Who gets to say how your taxes are applied? No, you don't get to say so. The government just takes it out and they divvy up the funds as they see fit. You have no say so over it. So you are laboring for the benefit of immigrants that did not contribute to this land. Then it says, why would someone be denied asylum? There are a few reasons why asylum is denied. The categorical legal reasons why someone would be ineligible, which would include the following: not filing within 1 year of entering the United States, having committed certain crimes, being convicted of a particularly serious crime, supporting terrorism, being a national security threat. I would say that Joe Biden right now is a national security threat, and having already resettled in a safe third world country. Then it says, additionally, a judge or asylum officer may find that the person is not credible or that they do not fit within the refugee definition. Are there alternatives to asylum? Okay, yes, there is. They get all these different leeways, through the cracks and crevices to stay here. It says, yes, there are two other types of legal status in the United States, which can be given to someone who is afraid to return to his or her home country. Many of us should be in fear of our lives over here as we drive through the United States out of fear of police brutality. But do we get to seek asylum? It says the first is called withholding of removal. This status, question mark, is commonly granted to applicants who would otherwise qualify for asylum but fail to apply within 1 year deadline. All right, then it gives you the whole definition. Then it says the Convention Against Torture Protection is available to anyone who fears being tortured by their government. We're being tortured right now, but does anybody care? No. Melanated people have been tortured since the colonizer came over here, but has anybody helped us out? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, let's keep going. It does not matter why they would be tortured. CAT, which is Convention Against Torture Protection. So they, this, let me just stop sharing because this is really kind of like annoying and getting on my nerves at this point. The fact that everybody else can seek asylum and get some type of help, but melanated people. That's what I'm not understanding, y'all. I mean, you let me know if it makes sense to you because it doesn't make sense to me. Now I want to let you know that these immigrants, and all of you may have already seen this, is all over the internet. I want to say that I've been watching a guy by the name of, I think his name is Cash Jordan. He's done an excellent job on covering this topic. And it's another guy, I think his name is Nick somebody. I'll have to double check the person. So you all, I'm going to share my screen. I want you to see one of the hotels. This is a luxury hotel. This is where your tax dollars are going, okay? This is where the immigrants have been coming to when they come into New York. They've been coming to New York up all the way from Mexico into New York, you all. They've been staying at the Roosevelt Hotel. All right, so these people, whoever owns the Roosevelt Hotel, they have a contract and they are guaranteed that all of these rooms will be booked at $200 a night. I don't know how many rooms, but this is a major hotel out of New York City. The Roosevelt Hotel. Look how luxurious this is, you all. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody put us up in a hotel for about a month or two and paid $200 a night for us? So let's factor how much money this is. If you do $200 roughly times 30, and this is just per immigrant, that's $6,000 for one family of immigrants. That is only one family of immigrants for 30 days, for 1 month. Now, depending on how many rooms are in this hotel, which I'm not really sure, I need to look that up. Let's see what that would be because I don't even know. Um, I need to find out how many rooms are in this hotel. So, yeah, you cannot reserve this hotel. If you go here and you click on reserve, it will not allow you to reserve because this hotel is no longer open to the public. But I'm just going to scroll down so you can get to see where they are staying. They put them in this luxurious hotel. This is where they have been staying. Okay. And this is what tax dollars are paying for. They have a gym. It looks like they have shops in here. Look at this. A dining area. Oh, and they get free meals too. They get free meals. So that's also included. They are being fed. While there are homeless people out here, veterans that have fought for this country, that can't get any help. This is what they're doing for the people that have not um, contributed to this land or this country. This is what they've done. Okay. Now I need to look up how many rooms are in this hotel room. That's what I need to do. So that's what I'm going to do next. Stop sharing for a second and see how many rooms are in the Roosevelt Hotel. That's what I need to find out. So let's see how many rooms are in the Roosevelt Hotel. Oh, well, looky here. There are 1,025 rooms in the Roosevelt Hotel. 1,025 rooms. Y'all, I cannot make this up. Guess how much money? Let me see if you can see my calculator. Can you see my calculator? $6.1 million. So that is $6,150,000 in 1 month just for these immigrants to stay in the Roosevelt Hotel. $6 million in 1 month. Okay. Now, these immigrants have been here for months. So all you got to do is the math. If that's 1 month, how much have they spent in 1 year? You all, that is 73 million, $73.8 million just for having these immigrants at the hotel. And that's not the only hotel. They are staying at another hotel out in New York. Okay. I forgot the name of it. All right. What is the name? What hotel are the migrants at or the immigrants at? Let's see here. How did this come up? Hold on 1 second, y'all. Something else is coming up on my screen. What other hotel are the immigrants staying at in New York City? A hot mess, I tell you that much. So it says, what hotel in NYC is housing immigrants? Roosevelt Hotel, another midtown accommodation that's been repurposed, is an intake center for arriving migrants. The city officials say migrant families could reapply for another 60-day stay in the shelter. So $12,000 is dedicated to the immigrants when they arrive. And this was just posted January 9th, 2024. So that just started this year. So for 60 days, for one family, they're paying roughly $12,000 just for them to stay in the hotel. Yes. All right. Now, there is another hotel. I just can't think of the name of it. And I was trying to find out the other one. Now, it said New York signed a $77 million contract with the hotels that are housing the immigrants. They're calling the migrants, and all a migrant is someone that travels from one place to another, but they're illegal invaders. They're intruders. That's what they are. Let's look at this idiot right here, because a lot of people are not in agreement with the mayor of New York, and I can't blame them. And the reason why people are not in agreement with it is because they don't. Look at this. Look at this nonsense, y'all. It says New York signs a $77 million contract with hotels to house the migrant families. All right. The city has finalized a nearly $77 million emergency contract. But y'all keep telling us, the American people and citizens and workers in this country that have to pay taxes and basically involuntarily, that We're broke. We don't have any money. We're indebted. We're trillions of dollars in debt to China. To China? Yes, Donald Trump said to China. But y'all got $77 million for migrants, for immigrants, for invaders that have not contributed to this land, to this country, when our people, our ancestors, have broken their backs to build this land. You have people that are breaking their backs just to survive in this land. But y'all can't give them benefits. Y'all can't help them out. They have to jump through hoops, hot air and water, just to try to get some type of help, only to be denied. There are mothers out here struggling with children. There are veterans out here that are homeless. There are single people out here that are trying to make it alone by themselves. And they really don't get any benefits because they don't have any children. They don't have a spouse. And I mean, all types of stuff is going on here. And they are contributing members to the society because when they go to work, their taxes are taken out just like that. And it's divvied out all across the federal government, all across the state. They don't get say so over where their money goes, but y'all take the money without consulting with the American people. And you feel like you want to give $77 million to emergency contracts to shelter migrant families that haven't contributed anything to the society. They just came over here and lied to us and said we're seeking asylum, when you're going to see that in a lot of these interviews, they're not seeking asylum. They're not facing persecution. They just want a better life, is what they're saying. We just want a better life. We just want to make money. Oh, one woman, I saw an African lady saying that the people don't like her in her country, and that's why she's leaving. Well, guess what? I got a lot of haters over here in this country that don't like me. But do you think that they're going to give me $6,000 a month to live up in a luxury hotel, give me free food? Let's not even get started on the credit and debit cards, free scooters and transportation that's going on. Let's not get started on that. I'm pretty sure it's American citizens around here that could use some free transportation. I see people walking in the cold, walking in the heat, catching the bus in the rain, carrying groceries with strollers that contributed their tax-paying dollars. And you're telling us that when it's time for us to draw Social Security benefits, we're not going to have anything because it's all going to be used up. But yet we still got to pay. We got to pay FICA and all this other stuff. But we can't hardly get any benefits. And let's not mention the free healthcare that they're getting. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into it. And like I said, I might have to do a part 1, 2, and 3 on this because I'm just scratching the surface with this. And I've been wanting to talk about it, but I have been sick. I had lost my voice. I had a terrible cough. I've been going through a lot, y'all. Oh, and did I get free medical care? No, I had to nurse myself back to health. Some of us can't even go to the doctor without getting a high medical bill because if you get a freaking x-ray, guess what? Your insurance hardly wants to pay anything because you have to what? Meet your deductible. You got to do what Cat Williams said, make a pimp decision on if you want to go to the emergency room or not. You shouldn't have to make a pimp decision about your health. Y'all, it's crazy around here. Yeah. So hotels in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx, officials said Wednesday. When was this article written? Just January 24th, 1 month ago, less than a month ago. Today's the 23rd of February, about a month ago. The hotel will reserve rooms for asylum-seeking families. They're not asylum seekers, y'all. It's all types of warfare that's going on out in those New York streets, and it's only going to spill further into the country. This is why the Missouri governor, do you know he has called upon the National Guard to go down there to the borders? Because he basically said, and I was watching this last night, that whenever the federal government doesn't protect its country, that's when the states have to step in to protect its people. And shout out to the governor of Texas. Okay, he's not playing around with that border. But you got Joe Biden that all the Democrats wanted to vote for. I don't know why, but people voted for. Oh, and Kamala Harris goes, she's African American. No, she's not. Where is she? She's all silent. She's quiet. Are they addressing this crisis? No, they're not. No, they're not. So, yeah, I'm just passionate about it because this makes no freaking sense. All right, let's keep going. The hotels will reserve rooms for asylum-seeking families for up to 28 days under the contract with the Hotel Association of New York City, because basically they're saying that New York is supposed to be a sanctuary city, so they can't turn down anyone if they come in need of help. But y'all have people living right there in the city of New York that can't get help. So it doesn't make sense. Let's keep going. With the Hotel Association, blah, blah, blah. Rooms will be available through the month of July. So for 6 freaking months, the hotels are meant as a backup plan if space runs out at city shelters. Now, we already said that these migrants are going to run up a check for $6.15 million a month because it's $6,000 for 1 month for $200 a day for 30 days for one migrant family, one immigrant family, one invader that comes into this country with their family. 6.15 million. Now, if you multiply that by 6 months, we're talking about 36.9, basically $37 million spent just housing them in a luxurious hotel. All right. Now, because it's named after Roosevelt, I think it's safe to say that those descendants are the family of Thomas Roosevelt. They came over here, colonized, and took over the land, and they erected a hotel in his honor. And so whoever his descendants are getting a hefty check from the city of New York and the tax-paying citizens that did not agree to this nonsense. All right. Now let's keep going. After 28 days, families who are still seeking shelter will be directed to the city's humanitarian emergency response and relief centers to receive another placement. Why does America feel like they're supposed to take this on as if this is their problem? Like, we have enough things going on ourselves of our own problems. Why are we taking this on when our country right now is already in a bad financial state? All right, let's continue on, y'all. Because I'm telling you what, they want the migrants to take over and to replace the melanated people. That's what's going on. Okay, so HPD's spokesperson said the contract will give the city the time and space to negotiate future rates as officials continue to respond to the crisis. New York has led the nation. All right, we already know what's going on. A state budget proposed, meanwhile, includes $2.4 billion to house migrants without homes and help them apply for asylum or work. The Biden administration last year allocated $140 million to New York to address the situation. I'm going to tell you what Biden's stupid ass did. He opened up the freaking borders and let them run in like a running waterfall and a leaking faucet and just let them drip over the border. And I believe his pockets are getting laced for doing this. All right. This is what you call treason against your country. This is what you call treason against your country. Impeach the freaking president. What's good, knowledge seeker? Y'all wanted to impeach Bill Clinton? You need to impeach him. What's good, knowledge seeker? I'm sorry. I was going off on a tangent. I didn't even see you in the building. You said illegal immigrants are at the top of the list and we're at the bottom all day, every day. We've always been at the bottom. The system is built against us. Tell the truth. Yes. Yeah, man. It doesn't make any sense. If it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense. And this don't make any sense. I think I got some text messages too, y'all. Let me check my text messages. All right, let's keep going. All right, now I want to actually get into the migrants get credit cards, y'all. How many of y'all hold your hands in the air? Raise your hands, you all, if you wish that the government would grant you a free credit card to help you along your way. As someone who tried to believe in the American dream that we were sold blatantly as a lie as children, right? As somebody that went to school, did their best, tried not to get in trouble, not to have a record, was a tax-paying citizen, worked from the age of I don't know when, and have been working all these years. Can the government give us a little bit of help? Oh, no, they want you to barely not have anything. Basically, in order to get any type of benefits, you have to be like so impoverished that you have nothing in order to get help. Basically, have nothing. So what we should do is, I feel like all melanated people in this land, indigenous people, Native Americans, because that's who we are, we need to apply for asylum right here in the United States out of fear of persecution by our own country and from the government. Maybe if we apply for asylum here, maybe we can get somewhere. So on your applications, every time you fill something out, you better not put Black or African American. You need to put something else. Check off something else and then come back and try to apply for some asylum. That's what you should do. Now, let's look. The guy's name is Cash Jordan. Y'all make sure you check out his channel. He's done an excellent job at covering this topic. I had watched his videos, y'all. You said you couldn't care less about the illegal immigrant problem and what's happening in Palestine does not concern you. They use the illegal immigrant problem to ignore the Black agenda. Always. They always do everything they can to not face what they've done to us. But you know, the universe is watching, the ancestors are looking, and the creators are watching all of this, y'all. So let's see what's going on here. Let me push play. Oh, let me share my screen first. I'm about to share it and I'm not even playing it. They never want to address what they've done to us. They want to focus there and divert the attention on everything else. Yes, they do. Every time we say something, we get ignored.
Paid debit cards to migrant families.
We need to dispel the rumor that we gave American Express cards to everyone.
I think they might actually be MasterCards.
Some migrant families will soon be given prepaid credit cards to buy food and baby supplies.
If this is successful, we're going to expand it even more.
It may be the most reprehensible thing that I've seen take place over the past 48 hours.
The asylum seekers are sharing their side of the story.
This mom of two says sometimes the food smells bad, rotten.
The cards can only be used at bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores.
Potentially saving taxpayers roughly.
Okay, so let me pause right there. They got the nerve to complain about the food, and then they're complaining that it can only be used at bodegas. Y'all are still getting a free meal. How many? Hold your hands up. Hold your hands up if you could use a free debit card to get you some food right now, the way the food prices have gone up, the way the gas prices have gone up, the way utility bills have gone up, the way rent has increased. And a lot of people, you know, are paying mortgages. Y'all, that's why I keep telling y'all to try your best to buy a house so that you don't have to keep dealing with the rent increase. But yeah, how many people could use this help? So let's continue.
$7 million a year.
I'm not going to be thankful that a program that was bloated and inefficient is somehow cheaper to just give away free money to people.
Y'all see that bag of trash right there? That was a bag full of food that they were giving to the immigrants, right? The illegals, the invaders. All right. That was a bag of food. They're throwing it in the garbage. They said it's nasty. They said it stinks. They don't want it. They said their children were getting sick when they were eating the food. I don't know how true that is. It could be a source of food poisoning going on by the way it's so many people and how they're handling the food. Because think about it. How many are coming? Hundreds of thousands of them just invading the border. And then you have to sit up here and ration out food to try to help feed them. Oh, but let's get into that. So I just watched a TikTok video. Shouts out to my sister. And basically, she was trying to get some seeds from, I think it was like Trinidad or from Jamaica, because it was a certain type of fruit that she wanted to plant and grow for herself. Oh, but lo and behold, do you know they're saying that you can't have seeded fruits going across the border to grow your own food? But yet, y'all got money to give away to these immigrants and give them free food, and they throw it in the trash. But you want to say something about people that are trying to grow their own food? Y'all check it out. It was actually a video on Netflix talking about farmers that wanted to reseed their own seeds, but the government wanted to be the supplier. And they would actually fly over the farmland and they would find the farmers. They would get in trouble if the farmers tried to use their own seeds to grow their own freaking farm. Y'all, this is how devious the government is. They want us dependent on them for everything.
The controversy over this new credit card program is swirling. But I spoke to somebody that works at one of the shelters, and they told me that the families inside, they're not getting enough food, even though the city is spending millions of dollars on food contracts. So now they're giving out $53 million worth of prepaid plastic so that people can buy their own food. But what most people don't know is the $53 million is getting divided up over just 700 families. Think about that for a second. 700 families, $53 million. If the city were to expand this program, it would...
Hold up. Did they say 700 families, 53 million? I'm pretty sure a lot of our families could use 53 million. Hold on. Let's see what that looks like. 53 million divided by 700 families. Wow. What do you know? That's $75,000 per family.
would likely bankrupt New York completely. But there's actually an even bigger reason why this program may not work at all, and nobody's talking about it. And that's because just the idea of giving prepaid credit cards to people who don't have the ability to work yet, that in and of itself was enough to draw high-level criticism from all corners of the political spectrum. But what's crazy is the city might actually end up saving money even though they're going through with this credit card program.
This mom of two says sometimes the food smells bad, rotten, and every time the children eat the food like that, they get food poisoning.
One of the city's food contracts costs $432 million for rotten, undercooked food, allegedly. And since tens of thousands of dollars of food are being thrown away, people say the credit cards will save a ton of money. Plus, it's probably going to be healthier. But is it really an accomplishment to save money when the program was so bad and wasteful to begin with? Plus, the timing of this program's announcement is politically controversial, as there have recently been several high-profile arrests involving asylum seekers that caught national attention, like this incident right here, the attack on police in Times Square. And critics of this program say it's not actually going to save the city money because the idea of credit cards may encourage some folks to decide to make the Big Apple their next stop. But is that really true? And why?
Let's get into that too. Now, many of you may have heard how these immigrants are attacking the police, right? Now, I want you to understand that, first of all, they are undocumented. They are just freely coming over here, right? We don't know what their backgrounds are, what their criminal history looks like, if they've been vaccinated. Now, most of you may or may not realize that when you cross over, from one country to another, a lot of times, depending on where you're going, you're required to get vaccinations and shots because you will be exposed to a different type of germ that your body is not used to building up immunity to, because there are different just plants, different type of air, different type of trees, different types of animals, different types. And so these people are used to whatever germs they have going on over there, right? So usually when you cross the border to another country, they have you to get shots. These illegals are coming over here without getting any type of immunizations, but they force fed us the COVID injection. They forced it down our throats. Pfizer. And what's the other one? I can't think of it. You know how they kept telling us that we need to do this, we need to do that. They keep telling us about the flu shot. They keep that smallpox was a thing, chicken pox shots, all types of vaccinations they want us to get. But these immigrants, these illegals are coming over here. Are they getting vaccinated? I don't think so. And they are integrating with your children in school, in the public school system, whether you know it or not, because like I said, I've been working in the school system for the past 4 months and I've seen what's going on. More and more of these illegal families are bringing their children over who cannot speak English. They're sitting right in the classroom with your children. And guess what? I'm pretty sure the same shots that your child has to get when they first start school, they're not being required to get it. So now they're mixing and mingling with your children. You don't know if they're carrying COVID coming over here or what germs they're carrying coming over here, but they're sitting next to your children in school. Nothing's being said about that. But you're told that your child can't come to school if they're not injected, right? In order for them to go to school, they have to get the injections, right? So let's point that out. Let's point out another thing. So if one of our melanated people, let's say we attacked a police officer, okay? Shout out to Claudette Colvin. If y'all watch my channel, you will know that the Rosa Parks story was preceded by a lady named Colvin Claudette. She was 15 years old when she refused to give up her seat on the bus. The reason they used Rosa Parks is because Rosa Parks was a fair-skinned 42-year-old woman. Claudette Colvin was 15, and at the age of 16, she became pregnant, and she was dark complected. So they decided that they did not want to push her story for the forefront for the civil rights movement. They used Rosa Parks instead to push their agenda of the civil rights movement. All right. Now, I say that all of that to say is that Claudette Colvin, at the age of 15 back in the 60s, was actually arrested by not one, but two police officers. One, for not giving up her seat on the bus. Two, they said she assaulted a police officer. Three, they said she was charged with disorderly conduct. Now, I want to ask you, as the migrants are coming, the immigrants, the illegal people that are coming over here, What are they being charged with? For attacking and assaulting officers. I heard that they have something called a catch and release. They're catching them and releasing them back into the general population so they can easily just climb over the border and go back home. But she was taken to jail, 15 years old, because she didn't want to give up a seat on the bus. I don't care if people don't like what I'm saying. I'm telling the truth today. Make sure y'all share this video. Make sure you like this video. And if you like my content, please subscribe to the video. All right. Let's get into another thing that's going on. Chicago citizens, they fought for their rights. All right. They are fighting for their rights. And I don't blame them. Because do you know what they're doing? They're actually displacing, okay? They're displacing melanated people out of their neighborhoods because of the migrants. So they're not putting them into the affluent neighborhoods, okay? The gated community neighborhoods. They're releasing these migrants into the more impoverished neighborhoods, the neighborhoods with more melanated people, because we know that the financial resources are always kept away from melanated people. We know that we are economically disenfranchised for a reason, and this is systematic oppression that's taking place. So they are flooding melanated communities with the immigrants. They're not putting them into the other neighborhoods, y'all. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about in just a moment. This actually happened in Chicago, and you have the Sambos. I know a lot of people like to say that you like to call these people coons, and what's the other word y'all like to use? But the correct terminology is Sambo. Okay. All right. So let's go to the ABC Chicago News and let's see what has taken place in Chicago, because it didn't just happen in New York. It's happening all over, y'all. Present the image. Share the screen. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting hungry again. I had some salmon, some rice earlier, and some good green beans. Okay, here it is. But I'm hungry again. I'm gonna have to eat again. I'm so hungry. All right. All right, let's see if we can play this video right here. So I'm sharing it. Hopefully you can see it. All right, let's go ahead. Oh, they want to play an ad. We don't have time for that. I hate that. All right. I don't know if it's going to play. I'll read it. A park district field house in Chicago won't become a shelter for migrants. They fought for their rights up in Chicago, y'all. All right. This is not working out. Let me pull up another one because I don't know why it's not playing. All right. Here's another video. We'll go here. All right. Let's go here instead. There we go. Yeah, I came prepared today. I know it's taking a little while for my computer to load up, but let it do its thing. It's coming on up. Oh, this is not what I wanted to pull up. Okay. Well, I'll share it anyway. I want y'all to see what I'm talking about. So let me go ahead and present this image to y'all. But I want the video to play so you can see it. All right. So this, you all, is I call it that, Amundsen. It says Amundsen Road Park. Location 6200 West Bloomingdale Avenue. This is the park. As you can see, it's a highly populated, melanated area. But of course, we're going to have migrants entering here. So what they wanted to do, you all, they wanted to shut this park down from the children. Okay. This is where a lot of the families, partake here with their children and stuff like that. So this park, without talking to, the people and the citizens there, the governor and the mayor just made a judgment decision that they were going to use the park without speaking to the people. All right, let's see. Where's the video? Okay, I'm going to have to find it. So I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I just think it's wrong that they sit up here and make these judgment calls and, right in front of our faces, y'all. Just right in front of our faces. All right. The Chicago Amundsen Park. All right, hopefully I get this video coming up for y'all in a second. All right. Yes, here we go. Here we go. Yep, this is what I'm looking for. Let's pull it on up. And shout out to those people in Chicago, because I love how they all stuck together with one another, how they all spoke out. They were not about to just get railroaded like this by, their mayor, governor, whoever it is. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stand up for your rights. Unfortunately, we have so much that we have to fight for as American melanated people. But yeah, this is what they want. Oh, come on, get on with it, y'all. Skip the video. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
At this particular location.
All right.
We were going to have a shelter at this particular location.
Let's play it again.
We were going to have a shelter at this particular location.
You work for us. You work for us. That's right, Chicago. Let them know.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we could go ahead and if we tune it in to do so.
Auntie, I work for the Chicago Park District for the North Region, and I'm here to support the staff for Amundsen Park and the surrounding parks.
I'm the commander of the 25th District.
Mm-hmm. So they held them accountable for what they tried to do to them. They tried to sit up there and make a decision without consulting with the people and the residents around this area and basically dictate to them that we're going to take this park and it's going to be set up as a shelter for the migrants. No, they stood up. They said, you're not taking our park. And this is what they did.
Extremely difficult for them to walk a mile and a half or even get a mile and a half from here to continue their senior program. So I ask you, and I have never asked this of the community before, I ask you to join me and stand up against allowing this to become a shelter. Now, guys, hold on, stop. I want you to know, I want you to know that I support our mayor. He is our...
So the mayor was behind this, y'all. A melanated guy on top of that. All right. So a lot of the citizens stood up and voiced their opinions about how they felt about the situation. I'm going to let you hear what they had to say because I thought this was very interesting. So let me go back. Everybody had, their chance to speak. So let's hear what they had to say.
Speak. Is it? Mr. Glover, you're going to get an opportunity to speak.
No. Turn the mic on. We're tired of hearing politicians. Turn the mic on. Turn the mic on. Good evening, everyone. I'll show you how disrespectful this is. On the 5 o'clock news, they projected that the migrants would be here by Saturday. Look, welcome to the welcoming city. Well, I got to tell you, only certain areas are welcoming. That's us. They want us. They say they want to use this park, but let me tell you, LaSalle Street, Clark Street, all the office buildings, nobody wants to be in the loop anymore. They all want to move west because of new buildings with better amenities. Those buildings are empty right now with water, heat, and everything. But they don't want the migrants down there. We're not anti-migrants, but this is so disrespectful for them to just sit up here with this crap and we're supposed to listen to it. You know what? If you would had your right mind and see a crowd like this, you would say to yourself, they don't want it. But no, these politicians, they think that they can just do everything. And see, another thing is you all's representative, I can say what I want to say because I take nothing from them. I don't need nothing from them. Okay? They have disrespected us, our community. They're going to tell us and just shove it down our throats. And we're supposed to like it. Yeah, you all are sitting there. And another thing, they do not have a plan. And so many migrants come in, they say, let's take this. Let's take that. Now you see a viable park here that's functioning well in a nice area. Say this was a bad area, they wouldn't be here. Okay? Another thing I want you to understand how we support this park. This park needed air conditioners. You think we went to the park district? No, because we don't need them. We bought them. Supplied this whole park. They needed a stove in the refrigerator. We did it, the advisory council. They needed a microwave. We give Christmas parties, and I don't ask these politicians for a dime. And this place is packed. See, they don't like people like me because I'm not taking their crap. And Brandon Johnson and Mayor and Alderman Terry Farrell, they wear this hat, and it's there. And all this crap about I just got to notice it. Well, if they don't give you that much respect as alderman, you don't need to be alderman.
Okay. So, like I said, Chicago was not playing. All right. And I think what he's so powerful because basically once you start doing for yourself, which is what a lot of people don't understand, they cannot use things over you. Like, you know, like with the food thing, if you grow your own food, they can't use that over you. And people won't be so panicked like, oh, they want to cut off our food supply. It's a food shortage. That's why they don't want you growing your own food. But like that man said, people got to stick together. We have to stick together against the stuff that's going on against us, y'all. All right, let's get into another video. Okay. They're also moving the migrants into public schools. I don't know if you know that or not, but all right, let's see. There's a video here I'm going to share. Now, this is a migrant sharing their story. So let's hear this because this different people are going to have a different experience, and you know that's just in life. So let's hear what they have to say about their experience here. It's been a lot going on. We don't know how many of these people are sick coming over here, y'all, and spreading different germs. All right, family caught in immigration battle. Let's share. Here we go.
Llegamos allí a los Estados Unidos y yo dije, voy a descansar, ya llegué, voy a estar más tranquila. Pero ya de ahí empieza también otra travesía de que tú no sabes qué van a hacer contigo, tú no sabes si hay una deportación, tú no sabes cómo te van a tratar, cómo es el trato.
Uf, Tinkerbell.
Another busload of people seeking asylum was sent from Texas and dropped off in D.C.
Buses carrying migrants arrived at Vice President Harris's home.
The White House and Democrats calling it an inhumane political gimmick.
Mi vida diaria en Venezuela fue muy, muy tranquila. Fue una vida muy, muy bien. Ya después que empezó a cambiar todo, decidí venirme porque ya no me daba para pagarle el colegio a las niñas, ya no me daba para sustentar los alimentos, ya no me daba para ayudar a mi mamá con sus medicinas. Entonces tuve que salir.
Justamente casi 2 meses, empezando la travesía.
Se cruza Colombia, se cruzó Panamá, Costa Rica, Honduras, Nicaragua, al último Guatemala y México, para poder llegar hasta acá. Tuvimos demasiadas cosas feas en el viaje. Caminamos donde ya mis pies no aguantaban porque mis zapatos habían roto por debajo, el asfalto me quemaba. En Texas cruzamos y nos entregamos a los a los militares que estaban allí en la frontera. El policía le dijo, quítale los papeles, dame tus papeles, quieres que te deporte a tu pinche país. Para la niña la experiencia fue un poco dura, después la puse a dormir en el piso, vino y me la pateó.
Now that's sad. Okay, they came and kicked the girl. But let me tell you something. She was not coming over here to seek asylum. She was not dealing with persecution from her country. She was not basically being tortured over there. She was not being threatened to be, physically abused or anything like that. She basically said they couldn't afford to live. They couldn't afford medicine. They couldn't afford food. Well, guess what? The same thing is going over here in the United States. Do you know how many people barely can afford their cost of living right now? Living expenses have gone up. Excuse me. And the government is taking our US tax-paying dollars and spending money on people that are falsely coming over here saying that they're seeking asylum. Let's continue.
Me pateó su pierna. Levántala, yo le dije, es una niña, que la levantes. Y fue duro porque tan solo es una niña de 11 años. Que un guardia de eso la pare con los pies, le dé con los pies, nunca se le va a olvidar a ella, nunca.
Stop. Bell, lay down. Okay. So that's just that story right there. Like I said, a lot of these people coming over are not asylum seekers. Okay. She just told you why she came over here. It was not to seek asylum. She wanted a better way of life for her family because she said she couldn't afford the medicine and the food and cost of living. That's going on in a lot of different countries right now. It's going on everywhere. All right. Now, I'm not saying I don't feel sorry, but I feel like, look, we got to take care of what's going on over here. Y'all are saying that we're trillions and dollars in debt. Then how do you have money to give to everyone else? That's what I don't understand. Now, let's continue on, y'all. Let's continue on and watch this video right here.
Why in the world does the city think it's a good idea to give out credit cards to people who could use them to buy anything like candy or junk food?
I want to share with you a quote by Warren Buffett.
Okay, so he got his little monetization going on. I can't hate on that. Go ahead, do your thing, Cash. All right, let's see here.
So this here is one of the city's shelters that houses families who may be eligible for this credit card program. This is the Roosevelt, a former luxury hotel here in Midtown, and this building is reserved exclusively for families.
Some migrant families will soon be given prepaid credit cards to buy food and baby supplies. The mayor's office says the city is partnering with Mobility Capital Finance to launch a more cost-effective program.
So the key word here is cost-effective. That's what this is supposed to be, but as we're going to see shortly, there are some serious problems with it, which are going to stop it from working. But New York City's leadership is all behind this, and they think it's a home run idea. And compared to contractors throwing out the food people are supposed to eat, it probably is. Because last November, the city was caught wasting 70,000 meals a month that cost $11 each. That's $770,000. When this report came out, city officials accused asylum seekers of being ungrateful. But asylum seekers interviewed by news outlets say the food was making them sick. Believe who you want, but the company providing the meals is a former medical services provider. They provided PPE, rubber gloves, paper towels to the city, and now they provide food. So they're not like, they were not always a food company. And the food they provide is winding up in the garbage.
Cards would curb the cost of inefficient food distribution that has led to expensive food waste, potentially saving taxpayers roughly $7 million a year, with a limit of up to $1,000 per month for a family of 4.
If this is successful, we're going to expand it even more.
So apparently what we're not hearing from...
So don't let them trick you. Don't let them fool you. All right. They keep telling us that this is going to save the taxpayers money. This is not saving anything because we should not be spending money on this to begin with. Nobody that I know of signed up to have their tax-paying dollars delegated to invaders and intruders into this country. So I don't understand how this is saving anybody money, because you're giving them debit cards and that way the food won't end up in the trash. Y'all could have delegated that money to us. All this nonsense that Obama did about the bailout plan back in 2008, who did he bail out? He bailed out the car industry because he said that would help jumpstart the economy again. And then they gave you that little bit of what? Tax incentive on your income tax. I think if you were married, you got what, $600, and then if you were single, you got $300. That's what they did for us. And then they had some type of thing in your paycheck where you got like a few dollars more on your tax withholdings. It was something stupid that they did, and they divvied that out across America. That's a slap in the face. That's what that is. That's a slap in the face, y'all. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Now, let's talk about how the migrants somehow has cars. They have cars. How the migrant have cars, I don't know. Because if you don't have a valid driver's license, how are you over here driving? Do you have valid insurance? I thought that this was part of the law to have insurance with the operating a motor vehicle. But apparently, when you're a migrant, you don't have to follow the law or the rules of America, right? And you get to live for free. So let's see what's going on here. Let's read this article from the Washington Examiner. NYC migrants get heated as their vehicles are towed from the disputed shelter. They're not asylum seekers, they're invaders in New York City became heated Friday when they saw at least 5 vehicles they were using towed outside a disputed tent shelter in Brooklyn. The unregistered vehicles were removed from the area surrounding the migrant camp at Floyd Bennett Field, according to a report. Okay. How are they getting these vehicles? Democratic Assemblywoman Jamie Wims captured the removal of the vehicles on video and shared the footage on Facebook. The footage shows the vehicles without license plates being towed away, and at one point, individuals appear to attempt to retrieve documents from one of the vehicles. So, free shelters, free clothing, free food, and you drive, Williams can be heard saying. And I have homeowners struggling to pay their mortgage, tenants struggling to pay their rent. Later on in the footage, tensions seemed to rise between the migrants and the officials towing the vehicles. Oh, look, they want to fight. Look, they want to fight. Williams, a representative for Southeast Brooklyn neighborhood, said they want to fight. Oh my God. Back up, yo, back up, the official tells the migrant who continues to respond in Spanish. Somebody needs to call backup, Williams declared. Call the 63rd precinct, please. I can't log off my phone. Someone call 911, please. Migrants at Floyd Bennett Field have been a point of major contention for New Yorkers who feel they are sacrificing too much of their city money and safety for these asylum seekers. Where did they get the money to buy vehicles? This is bigger than all of us, Williams later said. It is bizarre. People have to wake up and realize what's happening. These are the same people who are knocking on doors begging for food and money. So if you are aware, or you may not be aware, a lot of these migrants have been seen coming and flooding into people's neighborhoods off of a boat, literally near the beach. I saw a video of it. Went into a neighborhood and started knocking on people's doors, begging people for money. You cannot make this stuff up, y'all. This is what your president, Joe Biden, has allowed to take place in here, the United States, and he has not done anything to stop it. Okay. So because of that, certain states have had to take matters into their own hands to try to protect themselves and their citizens and the people of that state from these migrants, immigrants, invaders, and intruders. Okay, let's call them what they are. They are not all asylum seekers, and that's why I titled this video the way that I did. We just looked at the definition of what an asylum seeker is. Now, I said this video is going to be pretty extensive. I don't want to go over an hour and a half. We've been on here for like an hour and 9 minutes. So I probably will have to do another video because there's so much footage and so much coverage that I'm still trying to catch up on a lot of my research from this information, y'all. But let's look at what the Indiana lawmakers said about driving cards for undocumented immigrants. Let's see what they got to say.
Wants to allow undocumented people living in Indiana to be able to obtain driving cards. Those cards would take the place of a driver's license. Fox 59 State House reporter Kristen Eskow was there as lawmakers heard public input on the idea this week.
Sometimes it's hard because it depends if I can go to work or I can go to the schools.
Ben Weiser came to the U.S. 7 years ago. He's living in Indiana undocumented, so he doesn't have a driver's license. He says he often takes rides to get around, but that's not always possible.
Sometimes I'm scared to go out if I get a problem.
Democratic State Senator David Niezgodsky has pushed for several years to allow undocumented Hoosiers to obtain driving.
Listen to what they said. Democratic state representative. So when you vote, you know, like I still feel like voting sometimes is a joke. But when people just say, oh, I'm just voting Democrat, I'm just going to vote Democrat, vote. Please understand what you're voting for.
Driving cards. They take the place of a license, but have similar requirements, including training behind the wheel, passing a driving test, and having car insurance.
A good many of them probably are driving, so they don't have car insurance. That's causing our uninsured motorists insurance.
Let me tell you something. As a former claims adjuster for insurance, bodily injury claims, a lot of these illegals, okay, this has been an issue for years. This is nothing new. I worked in insurance claims for approximately 8 years. They were illegal then, and they're illegal now. And yeah, let me stop sharing for a second. They were illegal then, and they're illegal now, because I used to be the one that had to call them and do the investigation, take recorded statements, get in contact with the police, order the police report. I was the one handling all of these things. A lot of them, especially the females, cannot drive, don't know the rules of the road, are driving without insurance. A lot of them cause hit and runs. They lie for each other when you call their residence. They lie and say, oh, the person isn't there. When I used to work at the bank and they opened up credit cards, they would say, oh, he went back to his country. He ran up a whole bunch of credit card debt, didn't pay the bill, and left. Oh, yeah, this still goes on today. These people are able to get away with a whole lot more than what you are allowed to get away from, and you're held accountable for your actions over here. They are not. So yeah, a lot of them don't have insurance, and some of them do have insurance. How is this happening? I don't know. A lot of them don't have driver's license. Some of them have what's called a foreign operator's license. I didn't know that existed until I started working in the field of insurance. A foreign operator's license allows them to, I guess, operate a vehicle somehow. And so a lot of times when they would cause these accidents because they was not aware of the rules of the road, and they would tell me, and I'm asking them questions about how did the accident take place. And, you know, basically they'll tell me something stupid like, oh, they went, usually it's like an intersection accident. The light, what would they say? A lot of times they don't answer your question when you ask them the first time. So like we'll have a translator on the line that speaks their language, and the translator will get their name, let them know this conversation is being recorded. Do we have your permission to continue? So CC's, you know, they tell us yes. How did the accident take place? So instead of them coming forward and answering the question, they'll start talking about something else. See, because the thing is, like, they'll start going in a whole nother direction, talking about something I didn't even ask them. I'm asking the question 3 times, 3 different ways, and they still evade the question. And it gets frustrating because then you go from like a 15-minute conversation to a 30-minute to a 45-minute conversation, because then you got to go through the translator and then they have to translate. It was so irritating, y'all. But nonetheless, a lot of them don't know the rules of the road. A lot of them do hit and runs. A lot of them don't have insurance. Some of them do have insurance. Some of them don't have a driver's license. Some of them have a foreign operator's license. And with all that being said, they just get away with so much. And so then we'll have the American drivers asking me, an assurance representative, well, how is it that they're able to come over here and drive and they don't have a driver's license? I don't understand. Isn't that illegal? And I'm just like, talk to your state legislation, and this is what happens. So yeah, a lot of that happens over here, y'all. But let's continue on. It's irritating because like they get away with all this stuff, but you let one of us try any of this. Oh my God, the police brutality that people can face.
in especially in the Goshen area would collapse without them because they work, they raise their families.
The driving card can't be used outside the state or as ID for any other purposes. Republican State Representative Bob Morris floated a requirement of citizenship classes.
This is a privilege granted to the citizens of the great state of Indiana, and these people are not citizens.
State Representative Jim Pressel, who chairs the House Transportation.
Say that one more time for the people in the back. That was a Republican saying that. Say it again.
Who chairs the House Transportation Committee, says his biggest concern is ensuring the driver cards can't be used as ID to vote.
What we learned is it's not a
says his biggest concern is ensuring the driver cards can't.
Hold on 1 second.
State Representative.
Say that again. Say that again, please.
Privilege granted to the citizens of the great state of Indiana, and these people are not citizens.
State Representative Jim Pressel, who chairs Morris, floated a requirement of citizenship classes.
This is a privilege granted to the citizens of the great state of Indiana, and these people are not citizens.
State Representative Jim Pressel.
Okay. Shout out to him for saying that. So they're given a privilege to drive over here. Let's go over to Mexico and see if they'll give us a free driver's license to drive. Let's see if they'll give us $6,000 a month to stay in a luxurious hotel. Let's see if they'll give us free food to eat while we're over there. Let's see if we can say we want to seek asylum and see if they'll have anybody to help us. Let's go to Venezuela and see if we'll get some help. These people are coming from all over. China. They're coming from China too, y'all. They're coming from Africa, China, Sudan. I think that's one of the places they're coming from. Yeah. So I know a lot of people think, as melanated people, y'all think, oh yeah, we're all sisters and brothers. We're all melanated. Don't you know that all Africans don't associate with us like that. They look at themselves differently, and they are very oblivious to what we are facing over here in this country. All right. They have made some disparaging comments and remarks about us and how we live and what we go through. They are oblivious to what we've been going through in our oppression. They also are very privileged and they live very well, regardless of whether you know it or not. I know because I be around and I have definitely seen where they live. I've spoken to them and everything, because they get privileges as immigrants. They get privileges if they're not indigenous people of this land. The only people that get taken advantage of the most are us, the Native American indigenous people. Please go back and watch the massacre. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to actually post that video on this channel so y'all can see it on my Brown Girls Are Beautiful channel. But yeah, you need to watch the Thanksgiving massacre. All right. But that tells a lot about why we're going through what we're going through today. So I'm going to stop sharing this video. Yeah, there's so much documented evidence that I can just go through. And I'm going to play something else for y'all. So Nick Shirley is another YouTuber that you might want to check out. He's been doing a great job at documenting the migrant situation as well. All right, let's see. Do you all know that there was something called the Title 42? I don't know if you're aware of it. Title 42. And it was a law that grants federal authorities the power to deny entry of people and products into the country to limit the spread of a communicable disease. All right. This took place when Trump was in office, and he is actually, I think, responsible for Title 42 because remember China. Remember he said it's a China disease that came over here, COVID. All right. So Title 8, migrants who are deported are banned from entering the U.S. for at least 5 years. And if they re-enter the U.S. unlawfully, they could face charges and jail time. Well, guess what? This has expired since Trump was out of office, all right? And because of that, your president, Biden, the ones that the Democratic people voted for, the Democrats, the Democrats, voted him into office. And so he basically didn't do anything for this. He basically allowed this to continue. Y'all don't understand that there's like the cartel is even involved in this. And there are a lot of high-ranking government officials that are being paid from the migrants coming over here. All right. So that's how deep it goes. And really what this is doing is putting our country in a very vulnerable state to be vulnerable to be attacked. So at any point in time, we don't know who's over here. We can be, we've already been invaded, basically. Trump said before he got out of office that that our country was under attack and we're going to have to fight for our country. He had warned us. People didn't want to listen. Y'all kept saying that Trump was a racist. Used Snoop Dogg that has nothing to do with politics to basically try to get melanated people to vote for Democrats. These are the stupid antics that people fall for. Y'all used Hillary Clinton because on the Breakfast Club, they said she put hot sauce in her bag. And Charlemagne the God sitting up there laughing, thinking it's funny. But these are the idiots that y'all listen to. Y'all don't really do enough research. And this is why we're in the predicament that we're in, because people like to fall for silly antics. Y'all like jingles. Y'all like little things that make you feel good, to tickle your fancy. So they have to jiggle a toy in front of you like a child and entertain you to get you to vote for something that you don't even know what you're voting for. Now you have a migrant crisis that's taking over your resources. Now you're sitting up here without resources, without funding and benefits and free healthcare, while they get to reap the benefits of your tax-paying dollars. Thank you for not doing your research. Yeah, I said it. All right, now let's look into the fact that the migrants are moving into the public schools. Yes, so if you didn't know, some of the children got put out of their schools so that the migrants could use it as a shelter. Yeah, so regardless of the fact about COVID, no, we're going to actually make these people comfortable in your children's schools. Forget about the communicable diseases. Forget about the vaccination shots. Forget about COVID. All of that went out the window when it's time to house the illegal invaders and immigrants. Okay. So let's see if we can find that video or that article. Where is it at? Here it is. Excuse me. Chicago school lacks language support, turns migrant children away. Okay. 8 children of migrant families were turned away from attending Emmett Lewis Till Math and Science Academy on Monday. Other students who were allowed to enroll were forced to rely on Google Translate for language support. Remember, I told you they're coming over here and they cannot speak the English, right? A lot of the children can't speak English, but they're allowed to enroll in school and basically they just sit in the classroom. And so what we have to do is we have to have the other children that can translate to them, because they can't read, they can't write or speak the language. They're just sitting there. It was the first day of school Monday, but 6-year-old Hasley Cepedes stood in line at a soup kitchen instead of in a cafeteria line. With her hair tied up in 2 buns and wearing a floral jumpsuit, the young girl had been excited for her first day of school at Chicago's Emmett Lewis Till. Look how disrespectful this is. Everybody knows the story of Emmett Till, the boy that got pummeled to death. I think he was maybe 12 or 14. Cute little melanated boy, because the white woman said that he whistled at her. These white people came and beat this boy down to his death. And just, it's sickening, y'all, what they did to him. So this is the school that's named after him. It's the Emmett Louis Till Math and Science Academy. So Eliane Pena as she waited for a meal at Martin. You know, they can say all of that stuff to make us feel sorry for them, but I'm not going to feel sorry for them. They came from Venezuela 10 days ago. So what? Emmett Till lost his life. What was the compensation for? And really, you cannot even compensate these families. What about Tamir Rice? Trayvon Martin, you cannot compensate anybody enough money to bring back their dead child. You cannot. But instead, Hasley was turned away from school Monday morning with 7 other elementary school age kids who are staying with their migrant families at the 3rd District Police Station. Oh yeah, they made the police station a shelter for them as well. Forgot to mention that. Despite filling out paperwork, according to Britt, a volunteer at the 2nd and 3rd District Police Stations, kids are showing up with rotting teeth and active fevers and malnutrition, and they're not receiving care here, said Hodgkin. Keep in mind, they said active fevers. So if they're showing up there with active fevers, what do you think they're doing when they integrate into the school system with your children? And then on top of that, we're now refusing them education and all of the things that come with that. It is not our job to educate immigrant children that are illegal with their families. They need to be getting education from the countries in which they derive. In a statement Monday evening, Chicago Public Schools said that migrants arrived at Emmett Till with outdated enrollment forms not provided by the Till staff. The Till principal proceeded to inquire about a meeting to organize the enrollment information and provide updated enrollment forms in Spanish. Can we go to Venezuela? Can we go across the border to Mexico? And will they write things for us in English so that we can enroll our children into school? No, I don't think so. The district said in a statement, the principal collected everyone's name, phone number, and any email addresses and provided enrollment forms in Spanish. So they get accommodated in every way, shape, and form over here. But where is your accommodation, melanated people? Please raise your hand if the United States of America has ever accommodated you to make you more comfortable in your own land that they took over and stole from you. No, I bet you they won't. Enough of that. Y'all, it is so freaking irritating and annoying. All right, now let's keep on moving on. It is so much stuff. It is so much more. And I'm going to keep going. Oh, you know what? I only have maybe like 3 more minutes. Let me see if I can play this video because I was trying to keep it at an hour and 30 minutes because I don't want the video to go too long. So I'll probably have to do another live stream on here. Okay, we already watched this one. I'll probably have to come back on and do another live stream because this is not even scratching the surface of half the stuff that I wanted to share with y'all. This is just stuff that I was collecting like over the course of the last couple of weeks while I was out sick, right? And watching this whole debacle take place and unfold in front of my very own eyes. I guess I was almost oblivious to the fact that it had gotten to this point because I don't watch the news like that, y'all, but I had noticed an influx of migrants, though. I did. I noticed an influx of migrants over here. All right, so let's go back to Cash Jordan. That's what we'll do. I like his videos, and he's pretty good at documenting this whole thing. And we'll see what else he's saying, okay? Then I'm going to probably cut the video in a minute. All right.
And no pet supplies. But the city's program for families is not an expansion of the SNAP program. As it turns out, it's a separate program with its own rules. And that's what critics are worried about.
They will start with 500 migrant families with children in short-term hotel stays. The cards can only be used at bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores.
So the city says that these are only going to be usable for food and baby supplies, and people who get the cards are going to have to sign something that promises that that's all that they're going to use them for. So it's essentially the honor system. People caught violating the program could be removed from it. But critics say the city's soft on crime policies mean that's probably not going to happen. And they're worried the program will be abused. But let's listen to somebody who's in favor of this tell us why it's such a great idea.
You know, the best thing that ever happened in New York was letting people who come here from around the world do their own cooking. And you know what? If this is going to save the city even 10% of what they're spending right now to feed these families, then let's give it a try. Right now, it's only a pilot. We'll see if it works. If it works, expand it. Let these people have a little dignity.
So it will probably do those things. It will force people to take.
Where is our melanated people's dignity? when we're getting shot down in the streets by the police officers, when our men are sitting here, our melanated little boys are being gunned down by police officers, where is our dignity? Does anybody rally for that? Are you seeing on ABC, NBC, CBS News anybody advocating for melanated people's rights and our dignity? No, they don't care about our dignity. But all of a sudden, if you come over across the border and you're a migrant or an immigrant or an invader or an intruder, now all of a sudden we have to look out for your dignity. We have to make sure your children get educated. We have to make sure they get enrolled in school. We have to make sure they get free health care. We have to make sure they're housed. We have to make sure they're fed. We have to make sure they can drive. And then we got to try to make sure they have a way to support themselves. So we're going to give them some debit card money. We're going to give them some credit card money for baby supplies. Do you know a lot of these immigrants are coming over here already pregnant? You know why they're doing that? Because to be an American naturalized citizen, you have to be born on American naturalized soil. So as long as your child is born over here, they are an automatic citizen. That's what they do. And then once they have one baby, they keep procreating these things and multiplying and reproducing like roaches. That's what they do. All you see the Hispanics doing, all you see these Arabian people coming over here doing is multiplying and having babies. They're in the streets pushing strollers. They take over the whole neighborhoods. How do I know? I used to live in a neighborhood full of these Indian people, these people over there from the Middle East, and they basically felt like the whole complex belonged to them. At the volleyball court, carpooling to work. This is what they do. And then they look at you as if you're less than them. And I'm tired of it. Okay. They're coming here. We're not rushing to go over there. Obviously, it's something over here that they like. All right. So stop looking at us like we don't belong in our own territory, like we don't belong in our own country. Stop telling melanated people to go back home, go back to Africa. Our home is not Africa. We did not all derive from Africa. We are here, native, indigenous to this land. Because when you look back in our family lineage, most of you are going to find that your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents have Indian in them. And I'm not talking about the ones that come from the Middle East. I'm talking about the brown-skinned Indians, the ones with the curly hair, the silky hair. Those are the true Native Americans. So we come from here. We're already at home. Why don't y'all go home? Everybody else, this is not your home. And for the Caucasian people that said they're in support of immigration, is because all of them are basically immigrants themselves. They come from Ireland, Switzerland, Sweden, Iceland, Europe, all over there. Okay, they migrated here. So of course they're going to look out for people that are like them because they came over here on a boat. But they always want to tell us we came from Africa on a boat. But how did Christopher Columbus discover something that was already here and people were already living here? Tell me, how did that happen? We figured that out in 3rd and 4th grade. So when I'm in the schools and I'm talking to the children, and since this is Black History Month, y'all want to throw Rosa Parks in our face, Martin Luther King in our face, civil rights. Y'all want to talk about that? Let's talk about the truth. Let's talk about what's really going on. You want to support everybody else, take this country from us, give us holidays that has nothing to do with celebrating us, but you're basically celebrating the massacre and the slaughtering of our people while you took and stole this land from us, the beheading of our peoples. And then you want us to sit up here on holidays and eat and feast and roast to these holidays, these pagan holidays that you made up. Y'all want to talk about pilgrims and Indians. Please don't get me started. You will not come over here and insult and whitewash our history and basically insulting in front of our faces the fact that you have basically pillaged everything from us, stole from us, our culture, our everything about us. You envy us so much. And you can't hide it. All them people that you just saw on this video, all these people that's talking about, oh yeah, we need to give them support. They're saying that because they are immigrants themselves. Go back into their history. They've just been living here longer. They've been living here for 30, 40, 50 years. They've been living, and they have parents and grandparents and great-grandparents that migrated over here on a boat too. Okay, they want to convince you, melanated people, that you migrated over here on a boat. Some of y'all might have come from the Caribbean islands and things like that, and that's fine. All of us did not come here on a slave ship. That's my whole point. The more they can actually get our focus off of the truth, the more they know we won't think about what really is taking place, how this land was taken, how we've been oppressed every single day since they've gotten here, how they stole. All you have to do is go back and look at the names of the streets. All of these streets from Las Vegas to all around here is full of our culture. It's named after Indian people. The Chattahoochee River. Chattahoochee is Indian. That's Native American indigenous people. All of these names that we hear is named after Indian native tribes and territory from our people. Okay? We're many different tribes. So this is what's really going on. And then when they couldn't just take the land, and when the Indians fought back, a lot of them got killed off with guns. They had them walk the Trail of Tears. Y'all, we got to do an episode about that. Then we got to talk about how they put our people on reservations. And that's how a lot of the Indians got pushed from the east to the west coast. And they're in Nevada. And you always hear them talking about Las Vegas. Las Vegas is heavily populated with Indians, and they have casinos. And a lot of places in Las Vegas, because I was there, are named after Indian people, Native American tribes and people. It's so much they have done to us. And so over the course of the years, yes, we have mixed in everything with different nationalities and different people, but that does not take away what still runs down in our DNA, the blood that runs through our veins today. You cannot erase it. You cannot ever erase it. You trying to replace it, it will never work. Okay, let's get that straight right here and right now. I'm tired of it. So when you look at these job applications, stop putting African American. Nobody said that we all came on a boat from Africa. Stop it. A lot of our people were held captive. They were actually indentured servants. Do your history, do your research. Indentured servants. They had our people working on their own land, on plantations. All right. So people got to get over all of this. Oh, yeah, you go back to Africa. No, why don't you go back to Europe? Why don't you go back to where you come from? We have a right to be where we are. Let's not talk about what they did to Australians. That land was heavily populated with melanated people. The Tasmanians, what did they do to the Tasmanians? They formulated a character and made fun of them, made a mockery of them, called the Tasmanian devil. That's why he's brown. They killed the Tasmanian people off their land. They eradicated those people. That's what they did. They don't want to tell you the real truth and the real history. So when these immigrants come over here, these invaders take place over here, these intruders don't understand what our frustration is about, because they don't understand how we have been basically rallied against since the colonizer has come over here. And then they say they're going to vote for Biden. Do you know in certain at Missouri, I think it's Missouri, it's one of these states. I don't know if it's Missouri or Minnesota, but I got to check on that. They're actually trying to give these invaders the right to vote. Do you understand, to have the right to vote? What we learned in social studies when I went to school was that you're supposed to be an American citizen to have the right to vote. This is why they give so many melanated guys felonies for selling weed, felonies for selling marijuana, but yet and still you can have vaping, you can have CBD, all being sold all across this nation, and that's legal. But because they sold a little bit of weed, a little bit of marijuana, you want to put a felony on them, and then they have to try to get their right to vote back. They don't have a right to vote, but you're going to give an invader, an intruder, someone that has not even basically contributed to this land, a foreigner, the right to vote over here. Oh yeah, that's taking place. And all of this is done because they want to try to win the Democratic vote, to win the election. And on top of that, they know a lot of melanated people are not going to be voting for Democrats, voting for Joe Biden again, voting for Kamala Harris, because they've seen the slap in the face that they've received. Oh, it's more coming about what I'm going to be talking about later, about the mayors and the governors and how they have slapped the faces of the people that voted for them. They basically turn their backs on their people. And I think they're being funded. And I think that's why they're doing it, because they're getting their pockets fed. Do you know that I think it was in Chicago, their governor or mayor, whoever he is, he basically said that he wasn't there to support his people because he has a wife and 3 kids. That was his excuse. And that is what he said at the press conference. And when I find that clip, I will pull it up so y'all can see it. So that's how they feel about their own people. They're sellouts too. Be careful with these politicians, y'all. Be careful. Like I said, I was listening to Trump back in 2020. I wasn't taking him seriously before he ran, but when he started running, I was listening. And a lot of the things he was saying, I was in agreement with. When he said he was going to build a wall, build a border, oh, people thought, oh, he's a racist. Now you look and see, look at what's going on. Now people want to talk about what's going on. Now you see basically that he knew what he was talking about. Do you know they have taken Donald Trump off the ballot in 2 states? How do I know? I got a text message sent to my phone. They've taken him off the ballot in 2 states. They're trying to get him off the campaign so he cannot be a candidate to be elected, because they know that Donald Trump is going to fight for this country for us. They know that Donald Trump said before he left out that this country was under attack. They knew that Donald Trump knows what he's talking about. Do I think he's a racist? I really don't think he's racist like people are claiming that he is. This was all basically advertising and marketing for melanated people to fall for that nonsense. If Donald Trump was such a racist, why is it that he was at Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston's wedding back in the 80s? It's in Bobby Brown's book. Why was he playing golf with melanated rappers? Why was he in the presence of melanated people, having them on the show? Yeah, does he have white privilege? Yes, he does. Everybody has what they call white privilege because this is just how it works in the United States and all across the world, because they have whitewashed our history. But you know what? We have to start telling the truth around here. And a lot of people they can't handle the truth, y'all. They don't want to hear the truth. And I'm just tired of it. So I feel like if melanated people do vote, I'm not going to say just go straight Republican, but pay attention to what these people are saying and who you're voting for if you still believe in voting. Because like I said, I still feel like this country picks and chooses who they want to put into office. They say you have the popular vote and then you have the electoral vote, electoral vote. So when Hillary Clinton thought she was going to win because she won the popular vote, Donald Trump still got put into office. So what does that tell you? The popular vote didn't get her in. The electoral vote got Donald Trump in. So that's what happened, y'all. And as far as everybody want to talk about, oh, Barack Hussein Obama, what did he do for y'all melanated people? If you really did your research on him like I have done, you will understand that basically he was another person to basically distract you from the truth. And when they say Michelle is a man, Michelle is really a man. I've seen the research on that. I've talked about it multiple times on this channel. People don't want to believe the truth. They want to believe a beautiful lie. So keep being lied to while your rights are being taken away, melanated people. Y'all keep wanting y'all want to be ignorant. You want to keep following celebrities, worshiping, what these celebrities tell you. How are you going to have Cardi B basically telling you to vote for Joe Biden when she is illiterate, okay, and has no understanding of politics? She's a rapper for a reason. She was a stripper for a reason. She was on Love and Hip Hop for a reason. But these are the people that y'all want to follow behind. So see where that gets you, Dominicans, okay? So like I said, Dominican people, I have nothing against them. Melanated Dominicans, nothing against them. But what I'm saying is, how are you going to listen to someone that does not even have political literacy, is what I'm saying. She's barely literate, y'all. Okay? So we have to stop. Asian people do not have rappers, NBA players speaking on their political behalf. They're making a mockery of you when you do this. Do you see any other ethnic group, any other nationality letting entertainers speak for their political behalves? No, because they're making a mockery out of you. Y'all got to stop falling for these antics. And that's all I want to say. So my apologies. No, I'm not going to apologize, because if you get offended by this, then don't watch the video. But people need to hear this message. I've gone over my time. We're approximately at 1 hour and 44 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I will be doing more videos on this topic, because this topic is extremely important to me, because it affects all of us on a national level. on a nationwide level. And we need to get more involved into what's going on and less involved into this nonsense with all these, oh, Shannon Sharp and Cat Williams. Yes, I can talk about that stuff all day. But what are they really doing about the situation? You need to get involved into what's going on in your city, in your town, in your county, in your neighborhood, because Shannon Sharp can't stop these people from moving near you. Cat Williams can't stop these people from coming in your city, in your town, taking over your benefits and your resources. When you go down to the unemployment office and you've been working all your life and you barely can get unemployment benefits, can Cat Williams save you? Can Cardi B save you from that? Are they going to donate money to you? I don't think so. Now, Cat Williams, I will say, has done a lot of things for people behind the scenes. So I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about everybody that gets on that stage in front of you that people like to worship. Okay. I'm not saying that all people are going to be like that, but majority of these people are like that. They care about themselves and their families only. And you need to start being the same way. Put your family first. Put your best interest first. Stop giving your attention to where it does not belong. Okay. And with like that, that is it. Those are the sentiments of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I want to send a special shout out to all my subscribers, all my supporters. If you like this video, share this video, subscribe to the video. Thank you so much. If you want to donate to this channel, the Cash App is Cash App BGB Clothing. Y'all already should know that by now. Yeah, but I'll be back on here later. We're going to do some more diving deeper and more deeper than where we've gone, because this was just like the surface level. I barely scratched the surface with this video. I really want to get more into it because there's a lot of information out there that I want to share with you all. So thank you so much, like I said, for watching. Continue to walk in your divinity around here. Celebrate yourself. Continue to be the warriors that you're supposed to be and the heroines that you're supposed to be. Until next time, you all stay blessed. I got Prancer and Tinkerbell over here, y'all, looking at me. So, y'all, we are signing out. I'm going to play y'all a little video on our way out, y'all. So stay tuned to the videos if you like my outros and stuff like that. I personally put this stuff together myself, so I'm kind of proud of myself, y'all. All right, what are we going to play? What are we going to play today? All right, so we're going to play... All right, y'all. Shout out to that king right there for supporting my brand. He is a customer of mine that is up in Philly. He does have his own car repair shop, a mechanic, and he's been working for himself forever. I guess ever since he was a child, from my understanding. So I really want to give a special thanks to him for supporting my brand. He's made multiple purchases from me, and I've sent the merchandise out to him, and I really appreciate everybody who has supported me. All right, the next video is the F Your Feelings Friday. F Your Feelings Friday outro, y'all. Now, you know why I said it's F Your Feelings Friday, because a lot of people are going to feel some type of way about what I said. But like I said, F your feelings. Okay. Signing out. Like I said, y'all stay blessed. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. We out.